There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like the Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Basili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is the Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Psychic and the Doc. We've got a great show for you tonight. I want to welcome all of you. And I know we've got our team on the phones, really taking your calls, 1-800-930-2819, live call-in show. Also, if you go to Transformation Talk Radio, the other thing you're going to be able to do, there's an actual chat there. So if you go to Transformation Talk Radio, make sure when you go over there, just refresh your screen if you need to. You'll see the show playing live, and you certainly can ask a question. But if you want to connect with us live, then what I would like for you to do is just also 1-800-930-2819. Yeah, Mark, we got a great show. My buddy joining me here today, the most esteemed. I can't even tell you that. I would have to take up the whole hour if I were to actually tell everybody all the awards he's won, best books, just name it. And podcast, it doesn't matter. The point is that he and I are here for one reason. And I know Mark has done this for a long time. And that is we're here to help all of you.
Right.
That is why we do it. Mark, how you doing this week? And anything out there did you get to do eclipsing or what?
I did. I got my eclipse glasses and I went outside, and in Florida, it only was about 57%, but nonetheless, it was spectacular. And so I think that was a real privilege to get to do that. And you know, the theme of this show is calling all angels. And I really like this theme because angels, you know, people believe in them. Every culture, I mean, the Buddhists have angels, the Hindus have angels, Muslims have angels. We know Christians have angels. And angels are supernatural beings, pure spiritual energy. But on a less ethereal plane, angels. Many times people talk about earth angels. The proverbial stranger, that the good Samaritan that comes to your aid, the persons that is there for you no matter what when the chips are down. So that's what this show is about. Calling all angels is about recognizing both the spiritual influences and the people in our world that are there for you no matter what.
Well, I love this because all of us, you know, I got to start the show 20 years ago with Sue Storm, the Angel Lady. She was a regular on the show, and it's a fabulous show that we used to do. Angel readings, she named your angels. But I understood the value of what it's like to talk to an angel, to call an angel. So for all of you out there, what we want you to really think about today is, are you okay with doing that? Meaning, do you think you need an angel reader to have a conversation with your angels? Because we want to help you with that. The other thing, Mark, is when they call in and they speak with you and you connect them with their loved one from the other side, you know, this is a special gift you have. And this is something you do. You've been doing it a long time. You're world renowned for it. You know, you're on stage with thousands of people. You do live events, you do online events. So people know that what you do is special. And all you have to do is listen to one of these when Mark says, I'm getting a smell of roses. Hello. And then you hear the response. So you understand that. But angels are different. each and every one of us
Yeah.
can talk to an angel. I talked to an angel today. I did.
Yes.
I have realized I'm a human being, contrary to what the world may think about Dr. Pat. I make mistakes, Mark. I do. Do you want to hear the latest mistake that I had to call the angel to help me with?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, am I actually going to say this on air? So I had a friend that needed some money, health related issues. And so wanted to send her some money. So I go into my personal account. This is how human I am. Busy day, long night. So I just want to tell everybody, I want to just make you aware. If you're going to do banking transactions, I just want to tell you, do not do them late at night when you're half awake, half asleep, and you're in a hurry. When we talk about the energy of money, okay, so what do? I go into my personal account and I got it all ready, and I get ready to transfer. It's $5,000 I want to pay forward, right, to my friend who needs some help. I sent it to the wrong account. I sent a wire transfer to the wrong person.
Oops.
Well, you think that's going to be okay until you reach out to the person you sent it to in mistake and they don't want to give it back. And so I'm like, can't be Mercury in retrograde. That wasn't happening yet. And, I grew up with a mom that used to say things like this whenever us kids lost stuff, whenever we were bullied out of our lunch, or what Mama Doris used to come home and say, they probably needed that more than you. And I find it interesting. And isn't it funny? I can laugh about this, right? I can laugh. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to call my angels and say, hello, I think I can't tell if it's Katrina, but could you give us a little help over here? Can you help raise this person up? Can you help them understand, please, somebody else needs this. But in the end, the angels help you let go. They help you let go of what doesn't serve you anymore. And sometimes they'll give you a message. It's always benevolent, but it's not always what you want to hear. Just like you. It's not always what you want.
Well, you know that, and that's an interesting lesson. Maybe that person needed it more than you. We don't always know why what happens. And, synchronicity is a chain of events that leads a person to a specific place at a specific time. In both my last two books, Evidence of Eternity and the Afterlife Frequency, I talk about spiritual synchronicity. And spiritual synchronicity is, I believe, the work of spirits, which would include angels, which can maneuver a series of events leading you to a particular place at a particular time. And so maybe, even though, yes, you wire transferred that money, which you can ill afford to lose, but you never know if it ended up to somebody whose house was in foreclosure. So
Never know.
and of course, it would have been nice if they would have given it back, because that indicates, that person has some issues. And also, though, there was a karmic lesson for that person. They were unjustly enriched, and when given the opportunity to take the high road, they chose the negative one. Because karma is
a
you know what, and
it's a bench.
It's a bench, yeah.
The
And
bench.
karma never loses an address, nor does it have an
Ooh.
expiration date.
Yeah.
So,
And I love this because you and I do this show. And, after I'm done with this show, I don't know what you do, Mark. I don't know if you go shoot pool at the pool club down there in Florida, wherever you are there. I don't know if that's what you do. But I know for me, I walk out of my beautiful home sanctuary office and I walk into the other room with Linda. And Linda looks at me like I've been hit with a Mack truck. And I say to Linda, you know what? I love doing this show, and I don't know how Mark does this for a living, because so many people are in so much pain, and I'm just so grateful we can help them, right?
it's very draining. People constantly say like, I want a reading. Can you do it sooner? Well, I'm very limited in the amount of times during a week, and it's not just me, it's all mediums. And then there's always the how dare you charge money. Well, I've got to do something for a living, because if I went back to the practice of law, then I would not have the time to do this. And people say, well, mediums charge, so it's, you have to realize we only have so much time in the week, because it's draining emotionally, physically, spiritually, and it's like a battery. It runs down and it has to recharge.
Yeah.
And so but it's so funny. I've had I was on Coast to Coast AM, and George Norrie always likes to throw me curveballs. He goes, don't you think mediums who just do it for free are more legit? And I said,
Is that what
George,
George said?
that's what he said. And I go, George, as much as I'd like to slide down a rainbow on my unicorn into the Republic of Kumbaya, I said, the sun that causes vegetables to grow may be free, but the farmers that grow them and the labor that picks them isn't, much less are the trucks that transport them, the stores that sell them. Okay. And I said, yes, fossil fuels may be part of the earth, but let me tell you, they sure are not free. And and so you can go on and on and on. So it's really, really
Yeah.
insensitive to say to somebody, how dare you charge money? It's like, I had somebody once tell me, well, you have a gift from God, you shouldn't charge any money. And I said, well, what do you do? Well, I work in customer service at a department store. I go, wow, so you help people, customer service? I go, that's a gift from God. And she goes, oh, well, that's nice of you to say. I go, let me have your boss's number. She goes, why? Because I want to call him or her and say, you have a gift from God, so you're going to work for the next 8 years for free. I can't do that. I have bills. I go, do you now?
But you know what I love about this? So two things, and then we're going to go to break. One, I want you to put a plug into George from us and just say, George, get us both on your show. We don't care what hour it is, and we'll show you how we do it for free. Because we are, for those of you that know, Mark and I have funded this show because of you. We love you. You guys have said to us, can you please help us? We do this show literally because we want to, not because somebody's paying us. We don't look at, we have one partner, Holistic Life Magazine. Thank you. But I'm telling you, we have tried to keep this show pure. And
Yeah.
what do I mean by that? If you watch shows, especially some of mine, you got to see the sponsors on there, like, but this show, no, we don't want anybody telling us what we can say or do to help you. And that is an angel calling, because Mark and I prayed to be able to do this for you. And somehow here we are.
And that's such a, that's such an important point. And also, people need to understand, all right, you're a psychologist, a one held in very high regard. I'm a medium, and this show is our pro bono work. This is where we're
That's
giving
it.
our time, our energy, because people are always like, well, I want a free reading. And I say, well, you can call it to my show. Well, I don't want it like that. And it's like, I remember, and I'm not, but I remember my parents saying beggars can't be choosers. And I'm not implying that, people that want a free reading are beggars. However, when you want something for free and you insult me and call me names, it ain't going to happen. Okay. The same thing with Dr. Pat.
Oh,
But the
yeah.
thing is, we have this forum here to help people, and this is
Yeah.
for people who can't afford reading,
Yeah.
or they're just in dire straits. They need help. Also, if you'll notice, we only use first names,
Yes.
so we preserve your anonymity. We
Yep.
don't intrude upon people's identities, because that's part of our pro bono work. That's part of
Yeah.
our spiritual, psychological, and that's part of what
Yeah.
what the gift that this show is.
Yeah. I'm going to email George. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going right to the phone lines. We got a bunch of you. I think we have Bernard, Trish, Marie, Bernard, and many more of you out here. I apologize for the glitch in TTR. If you've been having a hard time logging on, I'll tell you, we are getting ready for our upgrade and expansion, but I will tell you that we have more of you logging on to the site in a 20-year history. Be patient. We're getting ready to up-level everything for you, so please be patient. Let's take a real short break. Thank you, Emily, for putting all of the beautiful promos together, everything you've done. Emily is our producer, and she is backed up by a team of people that are guarding the phones. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back. But I think some of you may have gotten a glimpse of Rocky. I'm going to find out in a few seconds here.
I like that look of horror before, like, ah.
We're talking about our new players. So Rocky's got her phone up here and she's like, ah.
Yeah,
Like
right. Yeah, Rocky and Linda are our producers, or some of them, as is Emily, our producer tonight. And Emily's new to the show. This is her second episode with us, but I know she's worked behind the scenes with us before, and she's just doing a bang up job. So thank
we
you,
got a
Emily.
great
Welcome
team.
aboard. We do. We have
We
an
do.
awesome team.
You haven't heard us talk about Moxie very much, but you haven't met Moxie. So there's Moxie, there's Sierra, of course, and then there's Emily, are our 3 live pre-production, post-production producers. And we're not going to do it on this show, but we're planning to do a show to show people what we really do, because there's so much involved with this. And kudos to everybody. Thank you, Jessica, Kim, Chris, and Linda, you mentioned. But let's go to you. I can't keep up with you. So you have to, whoever is booking you, I need to hire them to start booking me, because I'm getting ready to do that. What are you up to? What are you doing? How do we find out? And then we're going to go right to the phones.
Yeah, I got a lot going on, and the easiest way to find out is to go to my website, afterlifefrequency.com. And my friend Scott Taylor is doing a free online event, so I have that posted on my site. But next week, April 19th through the 21st, I'll be at the New Living Expo in San Rafael, California. That's in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Wow.
And I'll be a keynote speaker at the New Living Expo. And I've got 2 Light Circle Spirit Communication events the following weekend, which is April 28th, 29th. I'll be at the Unity of Tampa in Tampa, Florida, for an Edgar Cayce Field Conference on reincarnation.
Wow.
And then the following weekend, and I always can remember this one because I'm speaking on May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you, at the Edgar Cayce Association for Research and Enlightenment headquarters in Virginia Beach, where I'll be presenting Debunking Death, the Science of Reincarnation and Near-Death Studies experiences. And then on May 17th and 18th, I've got 2 online Light Circle events. So go to my website, afterlifefrequency.com. I invite everyone to sign up for the newsletter. You can find out about readings and all these fun, cool events. Rocky travels with me. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling.
Whoa.
And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody there. So fantastic. Dr. Pat, what do you say we go to the phones?
Let's kick it back over to Emily.
Up first, we have Trish from New York. Trish, you are live. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Trish. Great to have you on here. How can we help you tonight?
Hi, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I've been seeing angel numbers and taking pictures of angel orbs, and all of a sudden I have caught one on video, and when I was doing it, I heard afterlife frequency message, and I was trying to figure out what angel it was that was going around the pole. So I'm calling in because that's what I know.
Okay. Well, do one thing for me.
You guys were talking about angels at the beginning.
Beautiful. One thing for me. Are you on a speakerphone or a handset? I don't even know what to call the phone anymore.
Bluetooth. A Bluetooth.
Okay. Okay. Do me a favor. Get close to your, like, what do you call that? Microphone or whatever, because we want to make sure Mark can hear you really well. Okay.
Okay. So you want me to shut my, I don't.
No, that's fine.
No. You're good right now. Oh, you're
fine
excellent.
right now.
I'm gonna kick you. I'm not gonna kick you over, but I'm gonna send you over to Mark here right now.
Perfect.
All right, Trish, I'm picking up on a female energy. Now, this is a human spirit, but don't worry. All right, we're picking up on a female spirit coming through on your mother's side of the family, but she feels like she could be like 2 generations up, which would be possibly on the grandmother level. But all grandmothers are mothers, many mothers are grandmothers, so she could be on the parent level. Let me work with her a bit. You know, this lady, all right, I'm seeing a lot of edema, swelling with her feet prior to passing, circulation issues, but I do get that prior to passing, right up till she did transition, she was mentally sharp as a tack. And so she had some issues. Things were slowing her down. I'm getting a lot of pains in my back, which means she was having pains in her back. Could be osteoporosis, could be some other issue, possibly with the lungs. But here's what I'm getting. It feels to me that when she did transition, Trish, it was very peaceful. In fact, she may have been leading a pretty ordinary, typical, normal life for her, and then one day just did not wake up. That's what it feels like to me. Does this person make sense to you? Do you recognize this person in any way?
100%. It's my grandmother on my mom's side.
Okay, maternal grandmother. All right, so um, hey, have you had any issues with water, plumbing, maybe a leaky faucet or a stopped up sink recently?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's aware of that. And here's how I get that. It's always I hear the itsy bitsy spider crawls up the water spout, down comes the rain and wash the spider out. And I know that sounds goofy, but spirits scan my brain and they'll find memories in there and they'll trigger certain things. And whenever I hear that song, that means somebody's got a problem with plumbing, irrigation, or water supply. So your grandmother
It's
is
it's
around.
also the song.
And it's also the song, and that's even better. Okay, so we got a twofer on that one. All right, how does the song make sense, Joe? I want to hear that.
She was the one that taught me that song, as well as many
Her,
other uh, church songs.
fantastic.
Because
Was
because I
Michael
was
row
I
the
was
was
scared.
hold on, was Michael row the boat ashore another one? Because I'm hearing Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Well, we're getting the whole church song thing. All right, what's going on
Yep,
with that?
yep, yep.
Oh,
It's my
okay.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I'm loving your granny. She is just the coolest. All right. And this is so fascinating. She's holding, projecting an image, and she's holding this lavender candle, and I can smell the lavender, and it's a taper, and this lavender candle. Now, that's very specific. So, obviously, candles, lots of people like candles, but there's got to be something with lavender, the color, which is a light purple, it's lavender, or the fragrance, the smell. Is there anything with lavender, Trish?
Both of them. I just bought a lavender shirt, and I have lavender essential oils I use every night.
Fantastic. Now, there's more to the lavender because the lavender is that light purple, which is an immensely spiritual color. And your grandmother is one of the spiritual influences in your life, and she is working with the entities. This is her speaking. The entities you would call an angel are very highly developed, and they're on a higher frequency. And she said that you're looking for a specific name, but the name does not coincide with anything in a human language. The closest I can get, it almost sounds like um, God, it's like a super long name. It starts with Corina Kana Kana, Corina Kana Kana, Corina Kana Kana, keeps getting repeated. And I don't know if that makes sense to you in any way, but she said, don't worry about the names, because she said, you are aware of the presence. And she said, one of the issues that you humans have is you're always looking to designate a human name on an entity that has never been human. She said, just, accept the positivity. And what's really cool about this, Trish, your grandmother is one of 7 spirits, that human spirits that work with you. So she's sort of the mediator arbiter between you and this angelic realm. So I'll leave that with you. Dr. Pat, I know you're very well versed in angel numbers.
Yeah.
So take it away.
So I want to ask you a question. I want to get back to what you said when you first called in, and you had asked the question, and then I think you said, well, I heard something like the psychic and the doc. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, broke up.
When you first called in to the show, you said, I don't know, I was doing this, doing that, and something I heard the psychic and the doc. Do you remember what you were doing when you heard whatever the message was that you heard?
When that came through, I was videotaping an orb moving around a telephone pole.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
So let me
video
ask
of
you,
it.
beautiful. You kept the video, I'm assuming.
Oh, I have it, yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question. When you may not remember, but I'm going to give it a shot. When you were videotaping that, do you remember what you were thinking? I know it's not an easy question.
Well, it's been a frequent thing that I've been
Okay.
seeing them, so then I just started videotaping this one
Beautiful.
spontaneously.
Good. Okay, good. So here's what I want to say about it. What is the greatest question you want to ask right now? If it's too personal, no, don't share it. But there's a question you must be asking yourself, because my experience, at least, and Mark, yours too, when things show up like that, they're showing up, and 9 times out of 10 for me, if I'm awake enough, I don't send somebody $5,000 by mistake. But if I'm awake enough, I wait to get an answer. What's the question that's on your mind? There's some question on your mind.
I'm specifically wanting to know about the trajectory of my marriage. Because I've been in awakening, and he doesn't believe in it.
Okay, so I'm not going to get real personal, but I'm
church.
going to help you with this. Usually there are symbols. So what have we seen about circles, trajectory, orbs circling? Do you remember when you videotaped the orb? When it was?
In the evening on a rainy night.
Like a week ago, a day ago, a month ago?
Several months ago. I'd have to look at the date.
Okay, so here's what I want to tell you from a symbolic perspective, and I want you to think about this. This is a powerful entity that's going around in circles, correct?
Correct. It moves around the ground too. It moved up and over the pole to me, and then back to me, and then up to the left angle.
Good. So I want to give you my interpretation. I don't want to take up a lot of time, but I'm going to give you something to think about. How did the movement of that, every part of it, up and down, around the pole, out, back to you, sharp angles, how does that represent the way you feel about what's going on in your marriage? Don't answer on air. But do you understand my question?
Kind of.
Okay, so I'm going to say
I have to visualize the relationship in that angle.
Yeah, so what I'm picking up, and usually when I get a message like that, it's usually in extremes. Usually it starts out simple by going around and around, and that tells me, Pat, you are spinning your wheels, girlfriend. I'm telling you, that's what'll happen. It could be a butterfly that goes around it, but anytime I see it, it's like, pay attention, because we know you are not focused. You're spinning around. When it starts to move off course and go into a diagonal or go into a sharp movement or hit the ground, like you said, hit the ground, because this is unusual behavior. It hits the ground. It's saying, get grounded. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? You have to get grounded.
Yes, and I actually did do that.
Beautiful. But get
grounded. I do that often.
Okay. This is the last thing I want to leave you with. Get grounded in the way you're thinking about your relationship, okay? Before you make any decisions.
Thank you.
Because what's happening is you're growing apart, correct? Because you don't have the same values.
No, every aspect of us, I've completely changed. And he said he's not changed. And all aspects of our relationship is great except for the communication now.
Yes. Bingo. Bingo. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is something you're going to have to stop for a minute and look at, because, look, if you're in a great relationship, there are just some things that you're going to probably be different about, right? You see what I'm saying? You're going to see, I know
Yes.
with my best friend Linda, I'm going to be able to talk about certain things, but I'm not going to be able to necessarily talk to her about an orb I see running around a pole that hits the ground, because Linda would look at me and say, go to therapy, or not. But what I'm trying to say is you could still have conversations. You're just going to have to find your sweet spot around it. Okay. Don't take it too
Yes.
seriously.
I've been
It's,
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to
yeah,
give you both big hugs right now. Thank you so
I'm gonna
much.
give you a big
Thank
hug.
you.
I'm gonna give you a big hug, because there are more things that you have in common with this person than not. And you know what? Don't give
Oh,
up hope.
I know he's my teacher. We've been married for 30 years, and
Woo!
we've been closer and closer together until I woke up and it started to awaken to all this and start doing evidential readings.
Hold on. Hold on. Sorry,
Uh-oh.
if I can jump in.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
I've heard this thousands of times, literally, Trish. And women tend to accelerate on the spiritual path, which is why I've never understood why religions have been hesitant to allow women to be ministers. Instead, they have to be celibate nuns cloistered away. But I digress. Here's the thing: there's nothing unusual about that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. It is, you're on the spiritual path. Guys tend not to be as open to this. And this is a new phase in your relationship. Don't throw away a
Don't.
relationship because of that. Because if you've been together 30 years, then you know to respect each other's interests. Because he may go do like fishing or go to ball games or whatever
I
that you
don't
don't
know.
necessarily want to do, and vice versa. But I've seen this so many
Yeah.
times in the metaphysical field.
Yeah.
So this is actually a normal
Normal.
part of your spiritual journey. All right, Dr. Pat,
Now
back
I'm
to
gonna
you.
give you a last tip. You ready? You're gonna be able to find something
Absolutely.
to talk to him about that he'll relate to, but you're going to have to find what that might be. I did it through metaphors and movies. That was the way I found that sweet spot that opened up a door. So don't give up on it. It's just you may have to talk about the things at a level that will open up the door for, I'm assuming it's him, open up the door so that he can entertain what you're saying. Okay, you got that?
Yes,
Got
and
that?
back to
Okay.
what Mark said about my grandmother saying, Michael, roll your boat. It's applies, and it's fabulous because um,
Good.
that's what I'm getting in my readings is exactly what you both have said.
There,
Beautiful.
there you go.
Beautiful. And when you row your boat, you have to tend the water. You have to tend the nature of the water. When you get in a boat, a rowboat, I don't care what it is, you are not in control. You're being tended by the water, by the power of the water. And so you adjust to that. So just keep that in mind. Thank you, Trish. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Trish.
Yeah. You know what my grandma would say about the boat? We're going to go to the phones, Emily. You know what my grandma would say about the boat?
What?
Girlfriend, Pat, do not go near the boat. And you'd say, why? You'd say, why?
Why?
And my grandma would say, because you don't swim, girlfriend. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phones, Emily.
Okay, up next we have Marie from Florida. Marie, you're live. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Marie, welcome to the show. I mean, what do you think about that? I love the water. I live in Seattle. I love the water. I don't swim. It doesn't keep me out of the water. Marie, how can we help you tonight?
Hi, thank you. I'd like to know if a family member has a message for me today.
Okay.
Maria, I'm getting a male energy coming through now. Here's what is notable about this. He is either somebody you knew when you were younger, or he is somebody on your child, like niece nephew level. And the reason that I'm saying that is because the way he's projecting an image of himself, he looks like he was right around 20. I mean, he could have been in his 20s, it could have been late teens, but he looks like he was younger. And what I'm getting with him is this sudden impact sensation throughout my body. I'm feeling impact to my head, mouth, chest, and this was pretty intense. This feels to me very much like some type of traumatic passing. I mean, I feel a shattering sensation. I'm tasting blood. This could have been a car accident. This could have been a falling, but I'm getting this massive impact sensation. Do you recognize this could be a relative, or this could be possibly like a friend's son? But do you recognize this person? Young man, died very traumatically, very suddenly, and there was a lot of physical damage to his body.
I'm sorry, I'm not connecting with that right now.
Boy, he is hammering me, and I know you indicated you're from Florida, but he keeps showing me a map of Long Island. Is there any connection with you or a family member with Long Island in New York?
Oh, absolutely, yes. That's where I grew up. And
Okay.
I've been fortunate enough to see you twice in person, and you are marvelous.
Oh gosh, thank you, thank you. Well, here's the thing. Like when we're done here, think about, you may have known someone maybe back when you were in high school or college, a young male who was in a terrible collision somehow. But he's the spirit coming through. Let me see what message he has for you. Okay. Interesting. He's with several other spirits. This is your collective, and they're talking about you with dizziness. Have you had any balance issues or dizziness?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So he may be a relative, he may be not, but he is part of the collective of spirits that wants to help you. And they're focusing on, ow, I'm getting this pain, sharp pain in my right ear. Have you had any inner ear problems, infections, sinus infections?
Oh, yes.
Um, okay, because there's a
Yes.
residual of that. There appears to be, based on what they're telling me, a swelling inflammation in your inner ear, which is affecting the balance tubes. Now, as Dr. Pat and I will both say, we are not medical doctors. This is spiritual intuition. So my advice is that you need to make an appointment with an ENT, an ear, nose, throat specialist. I mean, you can go to your GP, but it's something this specialized, because even though it may be quite a while since you had the illness or infection, something is still going on there, which is causing you this. They're also talking about an indigestion issue. I'm feeling like an acid reflux. My stomach feels like it's in knots. Have you been having any digestion or heartburn, indigestion issues?
Yes.
Okay. So when's the last time you went in for a checkup?
Well, I'm actively making positive steps to take care of myself.
That did not answer my question.
That
Remember,
was
I'm
good
a
though.
lawyer.
That was
That
good.
was,
Okay.
that was
That
a
was
good.
good.
Yeah, I'd be like, Your Honor, please instruct the witness to answer the question.
Okay.
When's the last time you?
April the 4th. April the 4th, I established myself with a new physician.
And have you seen him or her yet?
Yes.
Have they run tests on all of these things? And don't tell me the results.
Okay, I won't tell you the results. The next step is I'm meeting with a specialist on April 25th, and we're going to let the specialist order the test.
Fantastic. So, your collective of spirits. All right, remember we're talking about calling all angels, and we were talking about spiritual synchronicity. Yes. Your spirits have, I don't want to say manipulate, let's call it influenced this chain of events that got you to set up a rapport with a new doctor on April 4th, which is leading you to a specialist on April 25th. They're targeting two of the areas that you're having issues with because these are going to be resolved. That's what the message is. I know you're looking for something else, but what you want and what the other side knows you need to hear often are two different things. Right now, the focus, Marie, is on your health. Take care of yourself first. That's the message. All right, I'm going to turn you over to Dr. Pat.
Yeah. I think that's it. I mean, the thing for me, as soon as Mark brought this up, had to do with balance and life balance. Now, I don't know if outside of what we just talked about, I don't know if you're struggling, and I use that word carefully. I don't use it a lot, but I'm going to use it with you. If you're struggling, trying to find some equilibrium in your life, some balance in your life, if something's off, usually when something's off and it pops in the ear or something like that, or like a message we got today, there's something else that's running the show. And it could be something as simple as, man, I've been trying to go see the movie Dune 2 for 4 months. And guess what? It's almost not in the theater anymore. And I just not found time to do it, but I keep talking about I'm going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So while you're getting yourself physically fit, take a look and make sure that you're doing and getting what you want. That's what I'm going to leave you with.
Thank you both.
All right.
Good. You just got to get yourself what you want. All right. You got that, Marie?
Yes, thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. I think we have time. That's so awesome.
We got time.
Yeah. And this Mercury in retrograde, by the way, is also coinciding with the eclipse. So things are intensified, but they're also less clear. What sounds like, oh, I should eat an apple. It's no, you shouldn't eat an apple. You should go help people pick apples to help feed the poor. See, that's the interpretation. Emily, do we want to go to another fabulous listener?
Yep, we have Bernard from Kansas. Bernard, you are live. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Bernard.
Yes.
Is that right? Are we saying
Hello.
Bernard right? Hi.
Yes. Hello there. Yeah, I just had a question for the psychic there involving a trip that I'm planning on doing, and I was wondering what my angels or my guardians say about it going to Kansas City to be a successful trip or not. I have some medical problems currently. I'm just wondering what the results be in the future there.
Well, let's see what your spirits have to say. I'm getting a female energy coming through, and she feels pretty close to your generational level. What that means, this could be a spouse, friend, cousin, sibling, and what I get with her is she pretty much kept her figure all the way up to the time that she passed. And when I'm getting with her, I'm getting this sharp pain in my head and my chest. So this could be a stroke, this could be a heart attack. And what it is, the stroke heart attack combo, they both involve high blood pressure. And I'm getting a sharp pain behind my left eye, but I'm also getting a pain in my chest because a right brain stroke will affect the left side of your body. And of course, a heart attack affects the left side of the body. She was middle-aged, but she definitely, the high cheekbones, the really, she was beautiful, elegant features.
Right.
This woman was a class act right down the line. Do you recognize her?
Not right offhand. No, I was thinking of my aunts and my mother, and I have all my sisters are still alive, and so I don't really know who that could possibly be.
Hold on. Let's go with the ladies in spirit. Your mother and your aunt. Would either of them fit this description?
Most of them passed on when he was, in the 70s, and one that passed away just recently in their 90s. So I don't know what to say
that's okay.
about that.
That's okay, because like the previous caller, she didn't recognize the person, but she will later on, and I think you might as well. Okay. And incidentally, this woman looks like she stepped out of the late 1950s, early 1960s, based on what she's wearing, which is kind of like a white blouse and a skirt that goes down to just just below her, right around her knees. All right, let's see what she wants you to know. Interesting. The last caller had a dizziness issue, and this one's talking about a similar issue with you that involves equilibrium, and it also involves, there's this disparity, what's going on in your lungs. It's like one lung seems to be operating better than the other one, and then I'm also getting this bitter taste. Yeah, I'm getting this bitter metallic taste in my mouth, which could indicate there's a neurological component, or you also have some type of neurological issue going on as well. And you said the lungs make sense, and anything with the neurological. And once again, you don't have to
I had bone spurs. I had bone spurs 6 years ago. I had operation on my disc, L2 and L3.
Okay. So this lady is part of your collective of spirits. I have a feeling she may be back a generation or two, and you may not be that well acquainted with her because she may have passed like in the early 1960s, but that doesn't mean that she's not around. Obviously, she's around you. Okay. She's making me taste. First it was root beer, and then it's Dr. Pepper. Either one of those makes sense to you, root beer or Dr. Pepper. Love them, hate them, anything like that?
Yes. Yes, I consume a lot of... as a soda, as drinking soda, or I drink Dr. Pepper or root beer off and on in the summertime.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely tuned in here. Stand by. Interesting. These tests and things, they're going to be talking about some type of radical therapy that appears to be somewhat non-invasive. And by radical therapy, this could involve like lasers, electrostimulation, but I'm not getting from them anybody's going to be talking about surgery. So it's going to be something along those lines. Now, obviously, you're not going to know until it finds out. But your question is, how's this going to turn out? And I'm getting a thumbs up, However, you're also going to get some news from them about your diet that you're probably not going to like. In other words, you're going to have to be changing what you eat. And somehow I don't think root beer, Dr. Pepper, or ice cream sundaes are on that new menu. Okay. I know spirits never come through and say, eat more chocolate, peanut butter. Well, peanut butter if it's not, loaded with that. And the thing is, I'm tasting a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables. The message is eating clean and alkalizing your body with a lot of the green leafies. And I'm going to recommend after the reading, after the show, go ahead and do an internet search about the alkaline diet. Look at that. And you may want to consult with your healthcare provider. Most doctors know nothing about eating, and they'll say, you can eat whatever you want. I had a friend with stomach that they had stomach cancer, and they told him he could eat hamburgers every day if he wanted. And it's like, no. But at any rate, that's what they're telling me. Dr. Pat, what's your take?
I have one question. You started out by saying you were getting ready to go on a trip. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to go from Wichita to Kansas City. Relatively a short trip, about 3.5 hours to there. And I have some paperwork to do in Kansas City.
Okay, when are you planning to go?
In the next few months, actually.
Okay, like when you said,
and I was trying to find out about my medical if it was all right to do it, to accomplish that trip. In other words.
Gotcha. So next few months, are you thinking May-ish, June-ish? What are you thinking? There's a reason I'm asking.
Late May, June type of late June type of deal. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's the root beer and the other soda that he drinks in the summer.
Right.
Okay, you got it.
Words,
okay.
Stop drinking that. Get on the new diet before then.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let me ask you a question about this. What would stop you from going? I don't want to take a lot of time, but I just want to try to get at something. What I mean by what has stopped you, because it's a long ride, and any of us that have any kind of trouble with our back, we don't like to sit in the car. So that could be a concern for you. Is that what you're worried about?
Right. That's yes, because I can only walk around 200 feet at a time, and I have to rest. In other words, and so And
are you driving yourself? Question number 2. Are you?
No,
driving
I'm going to take a bus. Take a bus.
You're going to take a bus.
Probably take a bus.
Okay, so this is why you called into the show. We're not doctors, we're not medical doctors, but I want to just tell you
Right.
about traveling from my experience. Whenever you're planning a trip like this, if you want it to be successful and you want it to also be comfortable, then you need to look at the trip and say, how could I get from where I am to where I want to go under my terms? What I'm
Okay.
trying to say, under my terms. And so sometimes, like in my past, that has meant for me to take a train. Why a train? Well, because a train sometimes gives me more ability to get up, to walk, to do what, you see what I'm saying?
I see.
So all
Right.
I'm asking you to do is just do homework if you're gonna go, where either somebody can drive you, right? And you have control.
Right.
Okay, that's number one, because you got to have control. Being on the bus and not being able to move, or the bus not stopping so you can get out, not only does that cause stress, but you understand your own body better than Mark and I do. So what I'm trying to say to
Okay.
you is, from a very practical perspective, you're in control of how you get from where you are today to where you want to go. Got it?
Right. I'll
Okay.
do that. Focus on that. Yes.
You need to look at,
Okay.
I got to get there. I'm going to go there. Can Mary take me there? Can something else get me there? So you're not trapped, so to speak, on it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have an opinion about that bus ride, right? Would you consider
Right.
that? Okay. And please check with your physician
Yes.
before you do anything. All right. Good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Bernard.
you.
Thank you for
All
calling
right.
in.
God bless
Sure
you.
thing.
What a great show.
Sure thing.
Boy, I know
God-
what that's like, right? Thank you, Bernard.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Boy, those bus rides. I've done a lot of bus rides in my day.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of buses, but sometimes they're a necessity and an inevitability. So,
Yeah.
but we got a great show next week. We have a
Yeah.
very special guest, Brian Smith. He is works with grief and healing, and he's actually a descendant of President Thomas Jefferson. So everyone, tune in next week to the Psychic and the Doc. And
Can they
we'll
call in for that show? Are they going to be able, are we going to take callers for that show? Maybe to get some grief help, or how probably putting you on the spot right here.
No, we'll cross that bridge next
when we
week.
come
All
to
right.
it. Mark, again, give out your website one more time and let people know how they can find out where you're going to be.
Please, I invite everyone to sign up for my newsletter by visiting afterlifefrequency.com. And if you sign up right away, you'll get a newsletter in about 20 minutes. All right. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Basili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on the Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.